area's news and information leader, KFYR TV.
We have one more spot yet to fill in tomorrow night's semifinals. We have paired the list of remaining teams eligible for the state title in Class A this year down to 3. And we are here for the final game. Mandan against Devils Lake. We'll get to that in just a minute. Dan Viens, Dan Michaels along with you with Dennis Wyman and John Hegry. Welcome back to the Minot State Dome as we finish up this marathon first day of the first round of the State A. And Dan, in this first game, a couple of teams that well, Devils Lake has been solid all season long, but Mandan coming out of nowhere, and both teams full of good athletes.
Absolutely, and let's get to some of the key matchups. First of all, for the Devils Lake Satans, Kermit Cooper. Kermit Cooper will be out on the floor tonight wearing number 44. He's from Freeport, the Bahamas. There you see him in the red uniform. Kermit averages 15.7 points a game, shoots 63% from the floor, has 11 rebounds per game. But the most alarming thing about him, or the most amazing thing about him, is some say his vertical jump is right around 40 inches. They say just wait till you see this kid on the floor. He jumps like you can't believe.
Well, you know, it's funny. That's what they say about Scott Tom, the man you see on the left side of your screen. As you can tell from the hair, a free-spirited young man who, as the coaches from Mandan say, is just now beginning to realize how good at basketball he can be. An outstanding athlete. Last week at just 6'3", out-jumping Minot's Kenny Younger for the opening tip in the championship of the West Region. He can be everywhere on defense and offense. He will be a key for Mandan tonight. A key for us, getting a lot of insight from John Hegry and Dennis Wyman. Their keys to the game now, gentlemen.
You know, that is a big key. You know, we kind of just make you guys feel at home after you come to us, don't we? As strange as this may sound, it's a 32-minute game, but Greg Linkby said the first couple buckets for Mandan will set a psychological advantage for them. He wants to get out and score right away.
Yeah, and those guys, Dan and Dan, talked about Kermit Cooper, and he is just a specimen. But really, one of the keys to this team is the play of Justin Johnson. A high-quality individual and just a tremendous player. One of the top 5 players in the state. So he can hit from the outside, he can take it inside. He'll be fun to watch.
Hey, guys, if we have a finish like we have had the last 2, we're in for a whale of a ball game.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's get you ready. The starting lineups for tonight's game brought to you by the new Dodge and your friendly Dodge dealer. And first a look at the Satans.
All right, the starting lineup for the Devils Lake Satans: at one guard, a 5'11" senior, Brady Schwab. He'll wear number 4. His other backcourt mate, John Brown, gets the start tonight. He'll wear number 21. He is a senior guard for the Satans. Justin Johnson will be a 1 forward, who Dennis Wyman was just talking about, one of the state's top 5 basketball players, a 6'4" senior. The other forward will be Kyle Herta, stands 6 foot even. He is a senior at Devils Lake High. And the man in the middle we've been talking about, there he is, Freeport, the Bahamas, Kermit Cooper, with this 40-inch vertical, 6'2" senior forward. And of course, they are coached by the EDC Coach of the Year, Mark Grope.
For the Mandan Braves, Chad Kincaid, 5'11" senior, starts at the point. A very steady, unspectacular player, will keep things going for the Braves. At the other guard, Sam Pullis, quarterback of the football team, had a broken leg to come back from, but once he did, really provided a 3-point threat for the Braves. 11 points a ball game. Up front, Scott Tom. He is the guy we talked about at the beginning of the game, and a very emotional player and an outstanding athlete. Great defensive player, as well as being a spark plug on offense. At the other forward, Eric Schmidt, and you'll see him run a lot of things as kind of a point forward for the Braves. Their leading scorer, 19 points a game. Also their leading assist man at 5.6. And then Lance Geigel, another one of those football players making the crossover. Very physical force inside, as Mandan really plays 3 forwards. Lance Geigel, 11.6 rebounds a game. Most of those will come from inside the paint. Head coach to the Braves, Greg Lemke, who pulled off something almost unheard of a couple of years ago right here in the city of Minot as the head coach of Minot Ryan, winning both the boys and the girls state titles in the same year, 93 and 94. That'll set you up for this ball game. Mandan against Devils Lake. They're just wrapping up the starting introductions. We'll be back with the opening tip in our last game of the night when we come back. Welcome back as we get ready to fill in the final spot in tomorrow night's semifinals. And Dan Michaels, the referees for tonight's game, introduce those two gentlemen.
Mr. Ed Baker and Mr. Terry Brenner will be our officials for tonight's game, and I got to compliment the officiating. It's been fabulous all day.
Well, you saw the vertical jump of Kermit Cooper there as he just outpointed Scott Tom. Devils Lake in business right out of the gate. That's Brady Schwab. Aaron Giramo, who is starting in the game. We got word that he would not start, but he is in there to start this ball game. Three-point attempt by Kyle Herta, no good. And here comes Mandan. That's Chad Kincaid with the basketball. Over to Eric Schmidt, listed as a forward, but he'll run some things from the point. Sam Pullis with the basketball now into Lance Geigel, and if they would just get it to Scott Tom, we could introduce the entire team again. Schmidt with the three. No good off the front iron, and there's Kermit Cooper above the rim to pull down the rebound.
Who averages 11 rebounds a game, and I'll bet he'll pick that average up during the tournament.
Now travel there from Kermit Cooper. Eric Schmidt putting the pressure on.
Talked to both coaches prior to this contest, Dan, and both of them said they got to calm their guys down. Mandan gelling right now, the best time of the year. Devils Lake hasn't been in this tournament since 1990. Even though they got a great record, Devils Lake does, they're still nervous about being at the state tournament.
Got to go back to 1925 to find a state championship team from Devils Lake. It has been a long time. Jump ball called for, and they'll stay at that end. The possession arrow pointing to the Mandan Braves.
And speaking of the officiating referee, Terry Brenner is the principal at Wilder Elementary in Grand Forks, wants to say hi to everybody at Wilder Elementary School.
Also, let's take care of this for the night. The telecast of these tournament games has been authorized by special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Association. Scott Tom in the paint, his first shot, it's true, and Mandan takes the early advantage.
Tom went right up the paint, stop, pop, put it in, and Mandan off to the lead.
First foul of the ball game called against the Mandan Braves. Let's give that to Lance Geigel. The Mandan Braves, as I'm sure you have heard, a sub 500 record coming into this one, 10-12. They were the 6th seeded team in the conference heading into the regional tournament. Would come out with the 2nd seed after a couple of upsets. We'll detail those in a little bit. Tough work down low for Kyle Herta. Misses twice, but it comes back out to Justin Johnson. Johnson blocked by Scott Tom. That's that athletic ability we were telling you about. Herta inside to Cooper, gets Tom in the air, gets the bucket and the foul.
Sweet. You know those two guys have heard about each other, so they're going to try everything they can. Here's the replay. Feed inside to Kermit Cooper with that great vertical. Gets Tom up in the air, and bam, gets the basket, and we'll go to the free throw line, and we'll get our first close-up look at Kermit Cooper.
We had a great battle earlier today between Wahpeton and Minot with Kenny Younger and Hunter Renke going at each other, 6'8" and 6'7". These two in the 6'2" range, but might be just as intriguing a battle one-on-one. We're tied at 2. A couple of minutes gone in this game.
Real international flair here with Kermit Cooper being from the Bahamas and Travis Moore being from Australia for Williston.
Eric Schmidt doing what he does very well, driving to the basket, gets his own rebound. Patiently gets it back out to Kincaid. This is Lance Geigel, and he took a step. Devils Lake, the most enthusiastic student section that we have seen so far, as they are all packed in to the end, to the left of your screen, and all decked out in red. Nice move from Aaron Giramo as he pulls up for 17 feet. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Devils Lake jumps out to a 4-2 lead. Just like that, Greg Glimke is preparing to make a substitution. This is Lance Geigel on the wing. To Sam Pullis. He is a good three-point shooter. That one's too strong. Here comes Devils Lake. Brady Schwab handling the basketball. To Giramo, little jump hop into Cooper, over Scott Tom.
How about that? Kermit Cooper trying to lay down the law right away as we start the ball game tonight, but he's going to be the one dominating inside. You can expect Mr. Tom to come back hard from Mandan as well.
Interesting that Justin Johnson, the tallest player on the floor for the Saintons, out guarding Eric Schmidt at half court. Pullis pulls up, gets it to go. His first two at 6'4", Devils Lake. Giramo from 3. No good, but there's Cooper on the offensive glass and the putback. Kermit Cooper with 6 quick points. He has 6 of the Satan's 8.
Satan's into the game, the number 3 seed out of the East, and Mandan, the number 2 seed out of the West. They just had a great tournament, I guess, out the WDA. Huh?
They did. Mandan first night with the upset of Williston, but then they came back to beat Century on the last-second shot on the second night. And that was really the shocker of the tournament. And then they gave Minot a pretty good game in the championship final. Inside to Polis, off the glass. Nice touch for the junior.
Now, is this Scott Tom's real hair color?
This is not. In fact, if you look in the program, his hair much shorter and a little sandier at the beginning of the season, or whenever it was they took the team photo. Cooper, this time, outstanding job by Tom to keep his feet, and then he blocks Johnson to Cooper to follow. That time, Cooper, the head fake, didn't fake out Scott Tom, who then blocked the shot of Justin Johnson, but Cooper was there to clean up.
A lot of good athletes in this tournament.
Cooper averaging 16 points a game. He's already halfway there, and we're halfway through the first quarter. Polis from 3. No good, but Chad Kincaid runs it down and throws it away. Brady Schwab now leading the attack. Got Justin Johnson in front, out of control. There's Brady Schwab, and they're going to call a foul on Scott Tom. I believe that would be his second real quick. It is. Watch this, Tom. Interesting call. Look, Scott Tom, that was not a foul.
I don't think it was a foul on Tom either.
Scott Tom caught his feet in this sticky tartan floor and was falling to the ground, and there was very little contact as Schwab was out of control. Could be a huge break for the Braves now halfway through the first quarter, and Scott Tom already with 2 fouls. Greg Limke not making an immediate move as Schwab hits the free throw. So an unfortunate turn of events there for the Braves. They've got to have Scott Tom on the floor to win. Schwab hits them both. Devils Lake takes the early edge. 12-6. They lead it.
What's the best way to get your family into a minivan? Get 4.8% financing and get it on.
Well, we got some Sam Polis fans over there. Deuces are wild. He wears number 22, and then the Greyhound. We'll have to maybe put Dennis Wyman or John Haggerty on finding out what that Greyhound nickname is all about. But some Sam Polis backers. He is leading the Braves right now with 4 points, but unfortunately, the Braves have only scored 6 as a team, and they are down by 6. Scott Tom still in the game with the 2 fouls. This is Eric Schmidt. He pulls up from the free throw line, can't get it to go. Ball knocked around by number 55, Shane Avey, into the game, a 6'3" junior.
Not only is Devils Lake zone bothering the Mandan Braves, but imagine that crowd down at the end with all the red and the pom-poms and the crowd noise and everything is having an effect on the Mandan Braves trying to get one in that.
Eric Schmidt a little bit of a problem as he laces up the Nike. And here we go. It's for Sam Polis coming off the pick. Shane Avey looking to get positioned down low. And there he gets the basketball, but he falls down. Scott Tom with the rebound, putback.
Smart play by Kermit Cooper not to go up and try to block that one from behind. Otherwise, he would have got the quick foul.
Aaron Giramo with the basketball, the shortest player on the floor right now for either team. Inside to Kermit Cooper. Harassed inside, and it was knocked out by Schmidt. It'll stay at that end. We have not heard from Justin Johnson yet, one of the top players in the state. 23 points, 7 assists a game for Justin Johnson. He has only taken 1 shot so far, and that was blocked by Scott Tom, but Kermit Cooper has picked up the slack. Ball knocked away by Shane Avey. He steps out of bounds and will do it all over again. Devils Lake by 4. 2 minutes left now in the first quarter. Devils Lake tries to earn themselves a berth in the semifinals against Grand Forks Central. Ball gets away. Aaron Giramo comes back with it.
Giramo built like a football player for the Satans.
This is Justin Johnson. Steps inside. Denied. Lance Geigel clears the board. Mike Auk now brings the ball up. There's Lance Geigel. He will not shoot from there normally. Avey, the left-handed 17-footer, gets the roll. So the big redhead with his first field goal of the game. Mandan claws their way back in it. We were just talking in the break how the trend today has been the East team stand jumping out front in all 4 of these games. The West having to claw back, and Mandan now within 2.
All of them have been great ball games today, though. Nobody has blown anybody away.
Here's Kermit Cooper against Shane Avey. Talking about his jumping ability. That time just his quickness off the dribble to get up and under Shane Avey. Kermit Cooper with 10 points in the first quarter.
Got an interview with Kermit the other day. He just loves playing for the Devils Lake State. Just loves playing hoops for him.
Braves would like to get Schmidt involved. That's him with the ball. He has yet to score. He averages 19 a game. So Johnson and Schmidt, the 2 leading scorers, have been shut out thus far.
Mandan having trouble getting the ball inside against that Devils Lake zone.
Kincaid, the tough shot with Cooper breathing right down his neck. 30 seconds left to go in the quarter. Schmidt comes up with a steal and alertly knocks it off of Cooper's leg. Heads-up play from Eric Schmidt. Knew he was falling out of bounds, couldn't do anything with the ball, so he knocked it off of Cooper's leg. And now with 26 seconds left, Mandan a chance to tie. Sam Pullis checks back into the game now. Eric Schmidt will sit down. Auk, Kincaid, guarded by Schwab. Pullis waiting in the wing, and they're going to work this one down.
Devils Lake stretching that defense. They switch to a man now.
8 seconds left now. Got to get a play going. That's Auk, takes the long 3. That's not his shot, off the front iron. There's Cooper. No time for Devils Lake to respond, though. And the first quarter comes to an end. So after Devils Lake jumped out to a quick 6-point lead, Mandan has responded. Greg Limke's bunch 2 points down at the break. 14-12 our score. We'll be back with more of this first round game for the State A tournament in Minot after this.
Welcome back to the Minot State Dome, and let's meet the Devils Lake cheerleaders.
Lauren S., senior. Honey Ellison, senior. Carrie Steffen, senior. Janine Mertens, freshman. Jessica Klein, freshman. Carrie Erickson, freshman.
All right, John?
Thanks, Dennis. We're over here with the Mandan cheerleaders.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Herndon, and I'm a senior. Sarah Frankie, sophomore. Heidi Pratt, senior. Jenny Height, junior. Heather Johnson, junior. Robin Schaaf, senior.
Dan and Dan, you wish you could have this job.
I was just about to say the same thing, John Hegre and Dennis Wyman. Quickly, some stats from the first quarter, as we've lost our monitors on our on the board here. We're going to probably need an engineer here. But quickly, Kermit Cooper with the 10 points. Devils Lake shooting 67% from the free throw line, but both teams close at every other thing except a 2-rebound advantage for the Devils Lake team.
Cooper again, he has 12 points in the game. He has dominated play so far. Devils Lake goes up by 4. You'll want to stick around. Coming up on the North Dakota Farmers Union Insurance halftime report. First half analysis and statistics. Reaction from the coaches with John Hegre and Dennis Wyman. That's coming up at halftime. Inside to Lance Geigel, knocked away. A foul is called. They say he was shooting, so he'll get 2 shots now.
And we've got our picture back on the board.
Nice work, Dan. A little,
well, you know, a little.
You've been watching Home Improvement.
That's
That's
right.
on
So
another network. But
just expect things to blow up here in just a second.
Foul called and play Lance Geigel with 2 free throws.
Good look at Lance right there. This is the first one. Geigel, a 6'1" senior forward for the Braves. The only team here with a losing record coming into the state tournament. But as we talked to their coach, Greg Limke, before the game, he said, yeah, but we are gelling. at the absolute perfect time.
An exact opposite performance from last year. Mandan, a tremendous regular season, came in as one of the favorites in the West region to make it out of that region. Lost their first 2 games, didn't make it to state. This time they come in sub 500, and here they are. 16-13 as Geigel gets 1 of 2. 3-point ball game. Just underway in the second quarter. Brady Schwab jumps up over everybody and scores his 4th point of the ball game to extend the Satan's lead to 5. Still no scoring from either Justin Johnson or Eric Schmidt, the 2 leading scorers from their respective teams. This is Schmidt with the ball being guarded by Johnson. Sam Polis, nice look to Scott Tom.
That was a sweet move.
Polis, a quarterback, he's used to passing. That time, the perfect weak side pass to Scott Tom. He has a half dozen now for the Braves. Foul called. Eric Schmidt was a man reaching in on Justin Johnson.
44, Schmidt, first personal, team foul.
His first personal. Tried to lob over the top, does Schwab, but Schmidt intercepts it. Giramo tries to pick it from the backside. Good poise from the junior. Schmidt, head fake on Johnson, nothing there. Those two have just neutralized each other.
Devils Lake now in that man defense. They started in zone. They switched about toward the end of the first quarter to a man, trying to keep things differentiated against the Braves.
That's Geigel, nice move inside. Geigel, his first field goal of the game, and it's a 1-point ball game here. Steal from Schmidt. He'll go in against Schwab, but he carried the basketball.
That was a sweet steal by Eric Schmidt. Totally robbed him blind, and then ended up carrying the ball on the way to the hoop and losing it.
Most kids put their head down and just go to the basket in a situation like that. Schmidt actually pulled his head up to look at Schwab, see where he was, and that's when he lost control of the basketball. So nothing doing from the steal. Devils Lake looks to extend their lead. Johnson looking for Cooper. Now he goes baseline against Scott Tom. Tom tipped it from behind, but the rebound put back by Kyle Herta, his first field goal of the game. Mike Auk has gone most of the distance here since coming in early in the game off the bench. Geigel pulls his way inside, can't get it to go, and there's Cooper. Greg Lemke of Mandan said they had to keep the Saints off the glass. So far they have not. Great steal by Auk. Let's see what he can do on the breakaway, and he shakes Giramo and scores.
Again, 2 pretty steals in the last couple of moments by the Mandan Braves. Devils Lake's got to hang on to that ball when they come across that timeline.
Schwab almost loses it again to Schmidt. He does. And the foul there, and they've got a case for an intentional. That's what Schmidt wants. Johnson just mugged him on the way to the hoop.
It was a smart foul, though. Here it is. Schwab goes out of bounds, tries to throw it over to Johnson. It is picked off by Schmidt. He goes up, and it's a smart foul. A smart foul by Justin Johnson. Going to make him earn the points.
But I'll tell you something, though. If you're going to have the intentional foul rule on the books, you got to use it. He obviously was not going for the basketball there. His only intention was to grab Schmidt's hands, but as a result goes to the free throw line nonetheless.
Dave Carlsrud is here from the High School Activities Association, and after every ball game he sits down with the officiating crew and he reviews the game tape. So I imagine Dave will be taking time out with these guys to give them his 2 cents on that. All in an effort to make sure the officiating is always the best it can be.
It has been very good as a whole today. Schmidt, 1 of 2, tied up at 20. 4:45 left to go in the first half. As the foul is called at the end of this game, we will once again be choosing the American Dairy Association player of the game. But we have a half of a quarter and another half to go. We'll take a timeout. We got a tie score here in the Magic City. Well, we have played a quarter and a half, and we are exactly where we were about a half hour ago. No advantage to either team. We're tied at 20 here in the final game of the first round of the state Class A tournament in Minot. Welcome to all of our affiliates along the Meyer TV network. You're watching us here this evening. A reminder that the semifinals begin at 6:30 Central Time tomorrow night, right here again. Giramo with the three. Nice way to come out of the timeout. And we were just talking in the break about how we had not seen a three-pointer yet in this game after seeing many in the first three games today, and then Giramo comes through and hits the tray.
Whistle away from the ball, and it looks like it's going to be called on number 12 for Mandan, Mike Hoff. One more, and Devil's Lake goes to the bonus.
Meanwhile, Devil's Lake committing just 2 team fouls so far in the half. Justin Johnson with the ball, averaging 23 points a game, still looking for his first. Gets it down to Kermit Cooper, who has 12. He has 14. He has 16.
He has been Mr. Automatic for the Devil's Lake Satans thus far. Every time he's had his hands on the ball, virtually he has scored.
Just like that, 5 quick points after the timeout from Devil's Lake. Mandan will try to answer. Lance Geigel thinks about it, pulls it back down, and the foul is called. Kyle Herta, 6-foot senior, and this Devil's Lake team, it's their first appearance here at the state tournament since 1990. And it has been this group that has helped them get back to the state tournament. 10 of the 12 players on the roster right now are seniors, including all 5 of the starters. Scott Tom on the alley-oop on the inbounds play, and he's just too soft off the glass, so Devil's Lake will try to extend their lead. Brady Schwab, who leads the team in assists with 7 per game, gets it inside to Herta, but it's stripped away. Geigel comes up with it. Here's Eric Schmidt. Calls the play for the Mandan Braves. 10-12 on the season, but the number 2 seeded team coming out of the West. Scott Tom now over Justin Johnson. Ball tipped away, and a foul is called on Johnson. Scott Tom will get a trip to the free throw line.
Here it is, the feed into Tom. Tom goes into the paint, and he gets hacked by Justin Johnson right there. Ball does not go in, but Scott Tom will go to the free throw line, and there's a good look at Scott Tom and that wild hairdo. He's got better hair than you do, Dan.
Well, you know, he probably has to spend less time on it.
Well, just looking at him, you know, one time glance, I'd say, yeah, he does spend less time.
Scott makes both free throws. He's got 8 points in the game. Braves back within 3. Kermit Cooper almost loses it. Brady Schwab will control things. 3 minutes left now in the first half of this one. Winner of this game will go on to face the Grand Forks Central Knights tomorrow night in the semifinal. Brady Schwab was flattened, no call. Traveling on Cooper.
They're going to say it was all ball, Dan.
A little officiating from Eric Schmidt. Trying to help his cause there. As soon as the whistle was blown, he was signaling traveling before the official. Eric Schmidt has only scored 1 point in the game, so I guess he figures he can help out by maybe helping out the Stripes. Devil's Lake.
Well, Mandan's got the right colors. Black
That's
and white.
right. Schmidt now gets inside, but he can't get it to go. Shane Avey follows. Shane Avey, a nice job off the bench, the 6'3" junior. He's got 4 points. And it cuts it to 1 again. Kyle Herta trapped at half court. Gives it up to Aaron Giramo, the 5'8" senior.
Nice move.
Cooper out jumps Avey, but ball tipped to Sam Pulis. Mandan looking for the lead. And I think Coach Greg Limke has to be happy. He said his first couple of baskets would be the most important in this game. And even though Devil's Lake jumped out to the early lead, they're hanging right with him. Schwab from behind tips the Avey shot. He gets called for the foul.
That's only his first personal. I noticed something interesting on the Mandan bench. You notice that they are using flashcards to call plays as opposed to yelling and screaming or hand signals?
Right now, the play that they want called is fist.
F-I-S-T is what's on the card. That's what they're calling. We don't know if that's an offensive or a defensive or a Sylvester Stallone movie. To the free throw line for the Mandan Braves. Number 55, Shane Avey.
Good looking rotation from the free throw line to the left-hander. That one comes off the front rim. Kermit Cooper, another rebound. Under 2 minutes left to play in the first half, and we're tied at 25. Ball knocked away by Avey down low. Foul will be called on the redhead.
Of course, it's Avey's responsibility to deny the ball to Kermit Cooper, and he just got a little too overzealous on the play and committed the foul. This will send Kermit Cooper to the free throw line, and Cooper leading everybody in scoring. There is the young man, 6'2" senior forward from Freeport, the Bahamas.
If he hits these 2 free throws, he will match his season average of 16 points a game. Also averages 11 rebounds with that great leaping ability, and he's got to be more than halfway there as he has been a force on the glass. Hits the free throw, got 15 for the game, and Devils Lake jumps out by 1 point. Can't get that one to go, though. Mandan's Lance Geigel pulls down the rebound. Neither team substituting much, content to go with their top 6, 7 players here in the first half. Scott Tom on the bench right now for Mandan. With 2 minutes left, Greg Limpke wants to protect him with 2 fouls. Would like to stay close in this one, so he still has 3 to give in the second half. Hit 26 and counting, winding down the first half now, and coming up at halftime on the North Dakota Farmers Union Insurance halftime report. We'll recap the first half, catch you up on some statistics, and talk with both head coaches. That's coming up at halftime. Kermit Cooper, the steal, gets it ahead to Brady Schwab. Shane Avey elects just to give him the easy lay-in rather than go for the foul. The Devils Lake back up by a 3 spot. 1 minute left to go in the half. Aaron Giramo almost gets the steal. Whistle down low. He pointed at Cooper.
Mark Grumpy is not happy. In fact, Grumpy is grumpy. I'm sorry.
You've been waiting to use that all day.
For about a week. Also coming up in the Farmers Union Insurance halftime report, the Bobby Ray Sage from Mandaree. Very interested to see Bobby Ray Sage.
That last foul on Kyle Herta knocked Kermit Cooper. Sam Polis in and out. Now Devils Lake with the lead and the basketball, and under a minute to play in the first half. You see the time in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Cooper against Shane Avey, double team quickly. Schmidt helping out there. Shot put up by number 50, Chad McLean, no good. Whistle blown, and Mandan will get one last chance to pull within 1 or tie.
Boy, I'm really impressed by Kermit Cooper. We've been talking about the great athletes on all these other teams. We heard that Kermit Cooper was a great rebounder, but he has been the entire package so far in this first half.
Well, good thing for the Saints, too, that he has his 15 points. Justin Johnson, 23 points a game, sitting on the bench at this point. He has not scored. Mandan will play for 1 shot, as we are now at 10 seconds left in the half. Eric Schmidt calls the play. Sam Polis just drifting over the left corner, was unguarded. Now he gets the ball in the paint, pulls up. Can't get the roll. He has had tough luck in this first half. We're at halftime. Devils Lake the big lead early, threatened to run away with it. How many times have we heard that today? But Mandan hanging in there as they have for the last couple of weeks. On this one, Dennis Wyman standing by with the head coach of the Devils Lake Saints.
All right, thanks, guys. Mark, were you able to establish the tempo you wanted there in the first half?
No.
What do you do to change it?
You know, they're getting out pressuring us on defense, and then we're letting them run their offense. And I thought that was a very poor half of basketball on our part. So we've got a slug of things written down, adjustments we need to make at halftime, and we need to take care of some things.
Big half for Kermit Cooper, though.
Yes. Great half for Kermit, and we got to get other people involved. We're starting to stand. We run the motion. We got to get back screening, and none of that's taking place. So we got to take care of that at halftime.
Imagine we'll hear from Justin in the second half.
Yeah, you know, he's been non-existent, but hey, they're doing a nice job. They're getting out pressuring us, so Mandan's doing a nice job as well.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thanks.
Guys?
You know, it's just too darn early in this tournament for him to be losing his voice already, Dan.
Not pulling any punches, though, telling it like it is. Well, we'll take a break. Stick around, though. When we come back, We will have the North Dakota Farmers Union Insurance halftime report, some halftime stats, but there's the key stat right there. Devils Lake up by 3. We are back to the North Dakota Farmers Insurance halftime report. Dan Viennes, Dan Michaels, and some halftime stats. Close game.
You betcha.
Not a lot of difference in the stats.
I think the biggest difference, obviously, there, John, Dan, John's getting ready for an interview, is rebounds. Devils Lake out rebounding Mandan to no surprise due to Kermit Cooper in there, 16-11. Otherwise, stats pretty much right down the middle. Let's check out the scoring from the first half. For Mandan, Scott Tom with 8 points, Avey with 5, Polis with 4. And then you can see the disparity of Devils Lake's Kermit Cooper, who averages some 20 points a game and is already well on his way there with 15 points in the first half. Brady Schwab with 6 and Aaron Geramo with 5 points.
John Haggerty standing by. John.
Okay, Dan, thanks a lot with Greg Limke. Coach, what'd you talk about at half?
Well, we got to get on the boards. Right now, Cooper's really hurting us inside, and mainly he's doing it on offensive rebounds, so we got to shore that up.
Justin Johnson did not score. If you could do that in the second half, I think you'd be happy.
Well, I think we have a great chance to win the game if we do that. You know, we'll take that, and Eric Schmidt's done a super job. We just got to execute on offense and rebound.
What about defense? You fairly happy with that?
Very happy. We've done a great job. Really, their scores have been on the board, so their initial shot, we've done a great job, and we're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
It's going to go down the wire, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Thanks, Greg.
Yep.
Back to you guys.
Great question, John. Great answer. We will see if that indeed rings true. Kermit Cooper, we talked about his dominance on the board. 8 rebounds, 2 of those on the offensive end to go along with his 15 points. That'll do it for the North Dakota Farmers Union Insurance halftime report. Devils Lake leading this one by 3. We'll be back with the second half after this.